Alright. I had to cut that off so I could post it up to Instagram. Because I want certain somebody to take a look at it and see what he thinks, and he's probably not going to say anything, but damn. You know. Just to show him to what I'm doing, and I'm doing this by hand. And shit. Not 3D sculpt. Not clay pours. Nothing like that. All being done by hand. Putting bits and pieces of clay up here and just fucking molding the shit. That's how you do it. So I filtered and cleaned this clay before I did this. I wouldn't be picking shit out of it. But you know what? I kind of like that because I can pick shit out of it. And it cleans it as it goes along. Because then when I pull it off, all that stuff's cleaned out. I'm cleaning my clay as well as applying it. Help, I had to clean them rest of the silicone on the stick. I'm going to put just a little sticker right here just to enunciate that wound right there. And then bring the clay down into the face so I can do the scar sculpting, wrinkles and shit. Now I'm going to have to take a look at a couple of photos for this because I don't want to go off this mask exclusively. Because if I go off this mask exclusively, then I'm actually copying the exact pattern. And I don't want to do that because that's the way they did it uniquely for their artistry, for their art, you know. Because artists will do that. When they sculpt something, they'll put details in a specific way so you can recognize, hey, I did that. And I don't want to copy somebody else's exact replication. You know, I could take the character, sculpt the character, and then put my own details in there. So, I'm just taking this, using this as a reference for the shape of everything, get it in proportion. Much like you would use photos on the computer or printouts or what have you. You build up too much clay here, so I gotta smooth it out. You want to give them a firm neck and the jaw. You build up that jaw just a little bit more. Fatten it out just a little bit. Raina, you know you're bumping the camera, don't you? Ray, you're bumping the camera when you do that shit. Please don't. You're making these people on Facebook sick. They get motion sickness and shit. Not bad for a day's work, is it? Off and on, probably 6 to 8 hours worth of work. Not bad. It's taking shape. You at least know who the hell it is. Put it that way. I know I've got this lip and shit too fat, so I'm not even going to add to that. I'll just put a little bit here to block this off right here, which would be shallow. I'll be shaping that down. I do want to make sure his jaw is wide enough and not too narrow. It's kind of the way I did the Stallone years ago when I did it. I just bought clay and pots and shaped it out like that, but kind of bulked it up and then smoothed it out and shaped it out. And I don't know if I got the exact size measurements. I think it came out smaller than a normal one, but you know. I plan on redoing that in the future. Schwarzenegger though, I did that off a foam thing. I had a foam thing and I put clay on top of the foam brush and just used the shape of it to make it. And I got a bunch of shit from it, and I'm like, how the fuck did the wrinkles come from the bottom up to the top? If I did that shit, you know, if I didn't put clay on it, and they didn't fucking, you know, they always have to be right, so they didn't say shit about that when I asked them about that. Now, we'll be going, Topher, so you know, we'll be going to the dead head and doing the eye similar to that. But right now, I'm just putting it in place. Oh, bitch. I have a machete. I'll take a real machete, line it up, and push it up against the sculpture so it gets the proper depth and everything that I want. Because I want to use make a replica of a machete and use that as a prop, but I have to cut it and all that shit. So I will be making a prop machete to go with this. And, you know, and it's the final product with magnets and all that shit on there. It's gonna be an ordeal. It'll be an ordeal and a half, but you know what? I think it'll be worth it. I was putting little worms and snakes for the scar tissue if you kind of get a general placement of where they would look like, where they would be. And then go back in there and refine it and do all that later. And bulk this out a little bit right by the ear. And these hollow areas here, just a little bit. You could use a little bulkiness. And of course, I'm going to take photos. I'm going to have Topher critique it for me and show me where this, you know, that's a little shallow, needs a little filling in. That he's good at that. So I'm not quite done with it, but I think I pretty much got the rough assessment of it. We're getting it blocked out. Jaw might need to be built up just a little bit. I'll have to build this in a little bit. Fatten his face up a little bit. Hopefully you can feel free to take a photo that I posted this, put it alongside yours, like superimpose it, and you can show me the depth difference, whether I'm over or under. I'd like to see that. I mean, I don't think I'm doing it as big as yours, because it's not a, it's not going to be a wearable mask. I wish it was, but I'm afraid to do this in silicone mask, because I think it'd be way too thick and way too heavy. I haven't gauged the depth of clay for that. So like I said, I'm just going to make a display prop for collectors. Now what I will do though, is I will make a mold of this in silicone, brush up, so I can go back in if I decide somebody says, oh, I want a silicone mask, I can clay pour it and then gauge the depth and everything of the mask that it needs to be. But I won't clay pour the whole thing solid. I'll just do it like slush clay, slush cast. See, you can do that. I don't give a shit what little Mississippi Mudbug says. You can silicone your work to go back and clay pour into the mold of the work that you've made to make it again so you can do adjustments and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with that. He's just mad because I do it. And, oh, nobody does it like that. The fuck they don't. I do. Hollywood does it. Shit, where do you think I learned it? Fucking Rufus Hearn and a bunch of other people that I know from Hollywood. I don't know if Rufus is still around, though. Stephen Chapman. Shit, there's a lot of guys that do that. Why do you think in Hollywood, when they make a mold of something, and it's a one-off, they do save the work sometimes because they got to go back and make adjustments? You know. Probably not common standard practice, but, you can do that. Nobody wrote the golden goddamn rule saying you can't do shit. I'd rather do it like that than I'd rather fucking have to re-sculpt the whole thing again. Put all the time and hard work and effort into something and fucking something goes wrong and I gotta remake it. And sculpt it all over again. And it never comes out the same way twice. I'm guarantee you. Never. That's why I started doing that. I don't do it with every single thing that I make. It's just important pieces. you know. And this would be considered an important piece. Is Raina gonna go night nights? Are you going night night in Raina beds? Hmm? It took me 3 days to do Stallone. I think it took me 2 to do Arnold. I wish I videotaped that process, because man, I caught hell for that shit. Pictures and shit. I'm like, okay, yeah, so what? Fucking. That's why I do videos, because people are like, oh, you didn't make that, you didn't do that, you didn't do that. No. Mine's so much better than yours. No. All that baby horse shit. I'm not trying to be like you. I'm being like me. And I'm doing this shit the way I want to. The way I see it. Not the way it is or it's supposed to be or any of that horse shit. I march to the beat of my own goddamn drum. That's what makes me a unique motherfucker. Damn caught up some fucking paper in here. I know he needs work on his eyes and nose and shit like that in the mouth, but well, at least he got the general shape down. Just gotta refine him, smooth it out and all that. So, we can smooth this out a bit. Right here. Turn this to the side. see, get it down here on the bottom. Put this in here. Back of the head, shape that a little bit. A little bit right here. A little bit more down the middle. Make it all on just a little bit better. And the wax is coming through on the damn unprocessed wax that comes through with the clay. Bulks up and pull that out. Sometimes just stir it in there, but that natural contour of the neck muscle right there. Bring that down. And start sharpening this up a little bit. Fill in smooth out the fronts on the back of the head, the side of the head. I know I've got to shave this down a little bit because the back of his head just comes in like this. And it's got a little tuck in here. But I'm going to smooth this out just to get the covering of stuff on there. And I'll take a tool like this and just come along here and just shave this a little bit. Smooth that out. And take that clay and put it where it needs to go, like right here. Got a little too much on the back of the head here. Raymond, where you going? You gonna lay down like that and be a good girl? Lay down. Stay in the shop. Lay down and be a good girl. Just put a little bit more on the back of here. And shoot this out just a bit more. And didn't have a big back of the head. What you can also do, if you're using a physical reference, you can put this in here, put your reference in beside of it, like this, and then do a comparison. If you line them up, and do it side by side, and you can do a comparison of how it looks. And you get it done that way. Let's see if I can do that. I can already tell not too much on the back here. Needs to come down into a concave shape right here. It's like a dip, almost a dip in the back. Move this out right up under here. Okay, a little bit more right there. Don't lose clay. Crumple up. Took his cancer out. Just such a lumpy, odd-shaped head, you know. And pick up and put the shape here. Got that indentation that's in the back of his head. It's kind of little concave right here. Smooth that out. Get that little ridge going down under here. It's like a groove. Smooth that out. And then the neck right here is still a little bit high. Right down. Get this clay up before I drop it all over the place. A little bit more around this out. Smooth that out. You can also do this when you want to soften the clay. Take some naphtha, you can take a lighter, soften it, or you can smooth it out a little bit more too. This is a medium grade monster clay, so you really don't need it that much. But every once in a while you come across where you might. In general, I think it looks pretty good. Proportion wise, we'll have to let Topher be the judge of that. I always better to have a friend that has a second set of eyes that you can look at it and go, okay, you need to build up here, you need to take away here, that type of thing. Well, he got like a little indentation in the back of his head. So. All these little bumps and grooves in here I'm going to leave that are, as long as I've covered the cracks up, I'm going to leave some of those bumps and stuff in there just because it's irregular. And his head was pretty much irregular all the way around, so I'm not going to worry about that. Little indentions and shit. Just as long as it's a smooth head, basically. For the neck, I'm just smoothing the skin out. That's all I'm doing. Smoothing it out. Once it gets smoothed out, then you get a better look at where you need to improve or take away. Right now I'm just worried about from the neck up. I'm not worried about the shoulders and all that shit. And that can come later. And getting all the wrinkles, cracks, air bubbles, all that crap. Brushing it on here. Just smooth that out. If you want smooth where you don't have any fingerprints or stroke marks like that in there, you take a napkin and a cloth and just wipe over it. Or a brush. But you'll leave brush strokes. That's what I gotta do to here. This one doesn't have ears on it, so I have to sculpt them in. You got bubbles and shit, drippings and shit, and a brush all over his face. It's good with the jawline. And take a fucking wax. But up under skin. Even all this out. Not down here. I may have to do something with this jaw though. I don't know if it's too big. I'm thinking it is. I don't know if the teeth and everything are kind of in proportion with the face, but I think they are. It looks good to me. But then again, I'm my own worst critic too. So for any of these other artists out there like Jonathan Fuller, Topher Westcott, Brian McGuire, y'all feel free to give your critiques and assessments and see what you think. Nick Marr, let me know. All my friends out there that do the sculpting are way better than I do. that out. I've got that underslung jaw, yet it comes back and narrowed out. So it stands at the moment. I'll get this ear done real quick and then I'll call it quits for today. I'll get this over here with the ear. That's it. It's right here. I got these little fiberglass bits that I'm finding in here, or whatever the fuck that is. Shards from the damn ears or whatever. I'm going to use the general shape of the horn for the inner ear, because it's already there. But I got a Vulcan build up on it. Look at this, broken down. I don't know how the ear broke off. Notice he got a fat roll right above his ear. Let's go put that in. Here. They're almost right there. Run that out. Now let's fill it in. Quite a bit on them. It comes right off. Don't even disturb the paint or nothing, because the seal did really well. With that flex seal. I gotta build the inner here a little bit. I want to try to keep from having too much of an undercut, because when I go to mold these things, the ears are going to come out. I know it. I want to be thick on this. Give them a Ferengi ear. And right in the Star Trek, you got a Ferengi ear. Picking that up. and move that out. Shave it out a little bit. I'm going there with tools and define it. You basically got an ear shape now. And then it. Ears have to be one of the hardest things to do. At the same time, you know, take talent and patience and skill, what you get to learn by doing it. And don't give up. Don't get mad. You can get mad, punch it if you like. I try not to do that anymore. And that's right ear shape. Leave it out. The inner ear, outer ear. It's probably too big, but I'm going to shave it down. And you got a fat roll right here. And work that out. we go. Down here. I don't know if it sticks out enough or not. It doesn't. Gonna make it fatter and wider here. No, I know butterfly ears and shit. Like I said, Ferengi ear. Curve right there. Curve right there. And then this part needs to be flattened up. Because it's flat. It looks like a flat part of his ear. See, it's just flat right into his head. Comes almost flat across the top like that. Big old fat, flap, flap, flap. Just gotta put shit in the end of there. I'm picking it up. And then, just gonna tighten up the ear a little bit. Get in there with tools and find out. But there we go. He's pretty much got his ear done. Big old fat ear on the side, thin ear on the side. Still got a little smoothing out to do. But I think we're going to call him finished for the night. So I'm going to take a break, step away from it, come back to it, and then see where we look, where we stand, alright? I appreciate y'all tuning in to the boring shit, and we'll see you on the next one.